Anthony Hartwig here with episode 5 of Coach's Corner with Nick Blanch for the Poland Bulldogs. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this week.
Happy to be here as always, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
Another crazy week in Poland. You had a game that we were supposed to play last night, got canceled, and you picked up Liberty on the fly for tomorrow night. Just put into words again how hectic this season has been and how crazy it is to lose an opponent and then flip back and gain an opponent on a night's notice.
I feel like I'm coaching softball again. I coached softball for 16 years, and this is what we did. Rain out, or this team canceled, or field was unplayable. You're looking for somebody else, but you do it for the kids, and that's what it's all about. You got to try and keep them safe as much as you can, but you also want to keep them playing because that's what they come out for the team for. They want to play, and everybody's going through it. It's not just a Poland thing, but we're doing our best to keep our head above water and just hoping for the best. And it's crazy, and teams are shutting down left and right, and it's scary. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, and you have no control over it, which makes it even more stressful. But we're doing our part, so at the end of the day, we can look ourselves in the mirror and know we did the best for our kids. And I know there's other coaches out there trying to do the same for their program.
And you got Liberty. It's a new team on the schedule. You probably haven't had much time to prepare for it, but you played them last year, and you kind of understand what kind of team they are. They like to run. They're really athletic. What kind of challenges does Liberty kind of impose for tomorrow night's game?
Well, we like to play up tempo, and I think that plays into their hands a little bit. Because like you said, they love to do that, but it also affects our traps too, because they're very athletic. Which is going to be harder for us to get them locked into traps because they're so quick and agile. And that's their strengths. I mean, they want to run. We're not going to tire them down. I mean, they've got all the athleticism in the world, and they're fundamentally sound. I mean, the Watson girl especially. I mean, she does a nice job. But, we'll make the most of it. We know they're well coached, and that's why we like to play them. So I've tried several times to get them this year because we haven't been able to hook up. And finally, we reached a date where we lost the game and they lost the game, and it all worked out. But Coach Watson over there does a great job, and I would always play her as much as we can. We've had some good battles over the years. The year we went undefeated during the regular season with Burry and all those girls, we played Liberty towards the end of the season. We barely got out of there with a win. I mean, it was a great basketball game, had a great game plan for us. And, like I said, it's just always a respectable opponent, and I know they're going to prepare themselves and do the best they can against us, and we're going to do the same, and it should be a decent ball game.
They're a little bit younger than they were last year. They lost a handful of seniors. When you look at a young team like that and the defense that you kind of play, you like to force people into mistakes. Do you kind of feel like you have advantages against younger teams when you look at the teams that you play on your schedule and you think, well, there's a couple of freshmen on this team that are starting on varsity. We might have a little bit of an advantage with the defense we play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we always like to think we have an advantage. I mean, that's why we do what we do and work as hard as we do. I mean, you want to have that upper hand. And, I don't really care what grade you're in. It's hard to simulate what we do. We're not perfect at it by any means. We have a lot of room to improve on both sides of the basketball. But that up-tempo, nonstop, everybody surrounding you and chasing you, we don't give you that time to breathe. So it takes a little bit to adjust. And obviously, the less varsity experience you have, regardless of what grade you're in, it takes its toll on you mentally, and then physically can wear you down as well. But like I said, they're great athletes at Liberty, and we expect a good challenge. And like I said, we're just excited to play. Anytime we don't get that phone call to cancel the game or cancel our next several games for getting shut down, we're excited. So it doesn't matter. We could be playing anybody, and we're excited just to be able to get on the bus and take the floor somewhere.
Now, you obviously have a big game after Wednesday on Thursday against South Range, but before we talk about that, let's just talk about the tournament draw and the seed you got in the bracket you're in.
We got the 2 seed, which is what we wanted. We wanted the 1 or the 2. A lot of good teams, and we're happy with whatever we got. You know what I mean? We thought we were a top 2 seed. We've had a pretty good season, but several others in there. I mean, Salem, of course, is having a great year. Marlington's having a great year. You can never count out a West Branch. Then you got teams like West Geauga, who's ranked 11th because at the time they were 2-1, but they're a team that was 22-4 last year with, all the girls back. So, they're just getting themselves going right now. They've been shut down. So, I mean, the top 12, I want to say, they're solid contenders, I think. I mean, you still got Mooney and teams like that in there. I mean, it's a packed district, and we're excited for the opportunity. Of course, the seeding means absolutely nothing once the season starts, the postseason, that is, because anything can happen on any given night. You don't know who's going to be quarantined, which teams will be shut down. I mean, it's just games within the game. But we're grateful, for the respect we've received. These kids have worked extremely hard. I appreciate everybody who did vote us a 1 or a 2. And even those who voted us lower, I mean, so be it. Everybody has their own opinion. But we know whoever comes out of this district is going to earn it, regardless of seed. It's a tough draw, and we're looking forward to it.
We definitely have time to talk about that as the future goes, but we don't have time is the South Range game. It's coming up on us very quick. And I feel like we have someone trying to get on this Zoom call, it's very unorthodox, but I think someone's trying to break in maybe a little bit.
It's got to be a Raider.
It might be. Coach Fish, is that you?
No.
My man, Coach Fish.
Oh.
What's going on, my brother?
Just so you guys know, this was planned. Coach Fishel is not some computer genius that knows how to hack into private Zoom calls.
Yes, he is.
Special guest.
He's a
Special
Raider.
guest on the Poland Coach's Corner, Jeff Fishel. Jeff, we're just about getting ready to talk about the big game on Thursday. It's so anticipated. You guys have been scheduled to play twice. You've had the game postponed because of COVID, suspended because of injury. What's the anticipation factor for this game, like, Coach Fish?
Well, I think the girls finally, realize that it's here. And, I think probably in the back of our mind, we're still wondering if we're going to make it to Thursday night or not. I know, Coach and I talked a little bit today that it's just, with everything that's happening right now, there's so much uncertainty that, we just need to be thankful that we were in the gym tonight. And, hopefully we get to play Thursday.
Coach Blanch, what about you and your squad and the anticipation of this game and the idea that hopefully it finally is going to get played?
Well, we're just excited. Mutual respect between the two programs, coaches. Coach Fishel and I just met last year, and become really good friends. I respect what he does over there and how hard he works over there to improve his program and the way he challenges his program throughout the year. But we're just excited for the challenge, for the game. I mean, it's always good basketball games, regardless of who's on our roster. It's an exciting time. The girls know. I mean, right now we feel as though we're two of the top teams in our conference, and in the area. And I truly believe that. There's a lot of good basketball teams throughout, but I like to put us up there and South Range up there. And anytime we can get together, it's going to be worth the views. People coming on YSN to watch that game, and as many people that can get in our gym, going to want to get in that gym and see quality basketball being played. So we're excited for that opportunity.
Guys, you've talked about the relationship you guys have built over the last 2 seasons. What's that kind of been like? I mean, what kind of sparked the such hard respect that you guys have for each other and the friendship that you've built so strong over the last 2 years?
I'll let you start, Nick. I'm going to put you on a spot.
Okay. Well, it's not putting it on the spot. I like I said, it's an absolute respect for what he does, and not only the wins and the losses, but the way he cares for his kids. You get some coaches that obviously do it for the paycheck, and you get some that are really invested in, and he's really invested in. He's been around the game a long time, but like I said, I've never crossed paths with him. But in talking to him and the way he talks about his kids and the way he cares about his kids, that goes a long way with me, more than any games he can win, because that's the way I am with my players. And I look at them as my own kids. We have our good days, we have our bad days, but at the end of the day, we're a family. He preaches that family approach as well. We just have a lot of things in common that we do, and we're able to win some games on top of it, but that's not what we vote as most important in our programs. But like I said, that's the most important thing to me. He truly cares, and he does what he has to make anything he can successful in his program, and he puts the time in. So it's just been that respect, and from there it's built our friendship. But like I said, I'm just glad we crossed paths.
Yeah, and I knew when I got the job how much respect everybody in the area had for the Poland program. And so, to be quite honest, and I'm on record of saying this before, that we owe the success that we're having right now to Coach Blanch in Poland, because I knew when I got this job, the first thing I did was watch the film, both games that they had played against Poland the previous year. And I knew if we wanted to get to that level, this was the perfect program to model ourselves after because of what they're able to do. And that is the same way. It's off the court as well, and the respect that everybody has for their coaching staff and their girls and the way they go about their business and how they're active in the community and how they treat people the right way. So, it's been that kind of learning experience, and Coach and I became friends through that. And I would say we probably text every day. If it's not every day, it's pretty darn close. And probably what I enjoy most about that is, you would think two rival coaches texting every day, that we talk a lot of basketball strategy and things like that. And basketball is the last thing that we talk about. We're talking about a lot of the other stuff. And I think that's what's valuable when it comes to a friendship, especially in a rivalry like this. We understand the battles that each other face every day, and we've kind of just become good friends through it.
Coach Blanch, you've played South Range a lot over the years. Even before you guys were in the same conference, you would play them. Seems like they'd always be on your schedule. What do you think has changed about that program since Coach Fishel took over? It's always been a good program, but, he took them to different levels last year. What do you think is the biggest change you've seen playing them twice last year compared to the other times you've played them in the past?
The expectations are higher there right now. The kids get into it. And like I just watched an interview today on YSN, as a matter of fact, with Bree Kohler. And one of the things she talked about was, hey, we want to get to state. You didn't hear that before. And I've gone on record, and I've said this to you off the air, and I've talked to Coach Fishel about it too. Like, nothing's a given, but they definitely could have a decent run this year and make a nice run. And I see it from an outsider's point of view. I thought last year they were really close to doing it. We're rooting for them. But to have your own players come out in an interview and, what's your goals for this year? I want to get to state, and I want to get to state really, really bad. Something along those lines where she emphasized that, talk about state. Most of the time it's just trying to get to a tournament win or maybe a couple wins at best. Now you're talking about getting to the state Final Four. I mean, that's senior leadership, and it starts from the top. I mean, that's what's been put into the program. The kids are buying into it, and they believe in themselves more than I think they have in the past. So that's, like I said, credit to him.
And Fish, when you first kind of played Poland for the first time and you kind of got into what the competition against Poland is like, what were some of the things that really stood out about that program and the jumped off this beyond the film?
Well, I think the number one thing is how much fun it was. To play in those games and to coach in those games. I think that's why we all do this. And, they're such a formidable opponent. In a game like that, the first time we played them down there last year, they ended up beating us by 8, 37-29. So that wasn't what a lot of people would call a pretty basketball game. I think we had 30 turnovers and they had 25 or something like that. But it was because of how well, even at that point, we knew each other and those girls knew each other. And it was just like two bulls headbutting each other. And it was a fun basketball game. And a lot of people talked about how good of a game it was. And a lot of times a score that is that low, people don't say that. And when you realize that you're going to play in games like that against an opponent like that, buckle up, because hopefully Coach and I are around for a while and we get 2 of these things every year, because I think the people in the communities really enjoy them.
You guys got a couple of minutes of game time in the first matchup before it had to be suspended, and it was 4-4 tied up. It was looking like it was a really good game. I know you didn't get a lot of time on the court, but what were some of the feelings you got that can tell us how good of a game this will be on Thursday?
No, it was tied up.
Chess match.
Yeah, chess match back and forth. We were at 4-4. I mean, that's what it's going to be, a knockdown, drag-out game, and it's going to be down to the fourth quarter. It's going to be fun. We're going to enjoy the heck out of it. I know that, and our kids are looking forward to it. And honestly, and I'm not just saying this because we're on the air, I've said this off the air multiple times, and we talk about it at practice all the time. We could not be happier that he has 2 out of his 3 girls back. We wish Gabby could be there, but obviously, that'll be for next year. But we are so thrilled that they're back, and that's why we pushed the makeup date even further back, hoping that we had a chance to get them back on the floor. It's just going to be exciting, and I know our girls were really excited that they were able to play on Saturday. We're excited. It's not something you're going to be proud of to win when somebody's not at full strength. You know what I mean? And the way that game all shaped out last time, the girls were genuinely concerned. Coach Fishel and I were constantly talking, making sure, hey, what have you heard? And now that they're actually able to come back and play, I just think it's awesome all the way around. So we're even excited about that, which I know some coaches would be like, why would you want her back? Because that's the way you get better. I don't care who wins. I don't care who loses. Obviously, everybody wants to win. Nobody's going to the game saying, boy, I hope we lose tonight. But if you're going to win, you're going to lose. You want to do it with their A package, and the way that those girls have overcome adversity and still able to come back and enjoy their season, we're excited for them.
And we'll start this one with Coach Blanch since it's his coach's corner. I want each of you to say what the other team's biggest threat or the biggest challenge they pose is. So we'll start with Coach Blanch and looking ahead to the game on Thursday.
Well, honestly, on top of stopping Izzy, I think the drive and determination is in the favor of South Range, because I know that a lot of their goals are beating us, giving us our first loss, in the conference, and even though there's not a league champion this year, it's still a important game in the eyes of everyone, including ourselves. So we're going to make the most of it. But I just wonder how well my girls will respond. If we just become complacent and we're sitting back, just going to play South Range and just take it as another day, or do my kids now go from playing some opponents where we've been able to, not have to play a full 4 quarters with our starters in? Are we going to be able to do that and do it with the energy as if it was our first time playing each other last year? You know what I mean? And that's what I want to see, because I know they're going to come in amped up. I mean, they got a lot to prove in their minds, and that's their goals, and we have goals too. But I'm curious to see how, especially my younger kids that haven't really been in the varsity loop that much, I want to see their fire coming out in this one.
Yeah, and to go opposite of that, I could spend the next 20 minutes complimenting their program and everything that they do well, because they do that many things well, and I could just list and list and list. But I think, the thing that I appreciate most about how they play basketball is how they value the possession. Defensively, they want to make sure that they're not giving you open shots and open driving lanes, and they may leave something open that you see on film. Hey, we can do this, but they're so well coached, and those girls trust that program, and they're so talented that you can do that, and then all of a sudden they rotate and it's not there like you thought it was. And so nothing's easy against them. And then on the other side of the court, offensively, the same thing. They value the ball so much that if they can't get an easy look early, they'll move it, they'll reset a play, they'll do something like that. And if you defend an action, if you know it's coming and you defend it well, you're like, yeah, no big deal. We don't turn the ball over. We still have the ball. And, we tell our girls all the time that the ball is what beats you. And Poland's really good at valuing the possession. And I don't think enough people understand and appreciate that style of basketball that they play, because that's why they've won 35 league games in a row. They're 62-5 in their last 67 games. So, that's the type of basketball that plays, and that's the type of basketball that wins and is really hard to beat. So we're going to have to play, pretty much the best game we've played in 2 years for us to find a way to beat them.
And Jeff, Nick talked about it. South Range is a team that wants to slay the giant. This might be the last game you guys have for quite some time that you guys are the quote-unquote underdogs, or you guys are the team that is beating a team that has the 35 consecutive wins. Do you like that kind of that drive that, we're the quote-unquote underdogs, even though a lot of people might say this is evenly matched, but you know what I'm saying, where Poland has been dominant in the NE8, and you guys are the team that is looked at as the number 2. So do you like that kind of mentality going into the tournaments where whereas we still need that kind of fire that Nick was talking about that they're going to have for this night?
Well, I think the answer is a little bit deeper than the question. And what I mean by that is, this isn't a case where 2 years ago we beat them twice and last year they beat us twice, or last year it was 1-1, or we've already played this year and somebody won the other game. They have our number right now. And so, that type of underdog is not a fun underdog to be, because, there's some mental challenges that come with it. Being an underdog when you're a 2 seed in a tournament or something like that is a little bit different story. So I think going there on Thursday night, our focus is going to have to be, this is a basketball game. We have to show up. We have to play. We can't worry about the name on their jersey, because if we do that, we're in trouble.
How much of an advantage do you think home court is this year? You guys have both had to play on the road. This game will be at Poland the first time around. With limited fans, is there still a sense of familiarity when you're at home compared to when you're on the road?
I mean, it's always nice to be home. I mean, but when you're playing good quality basketball teams, it, in my opinion, doesn't rock the boat. Yeah, it's nice to be home. You have a sense of calm being there, but we both have higher goals than playing at home. We want to get to the places where you're playing on the road, in the bigger places, and playing for the bigger medals and the bigger trophies. So no matter where you go, you have to have that sense of calm and just believe in yourself and what your program's all about. So like I said, we're the home team, yeah, but it I don't really think gives us any advantage. I mean, they're a quality basketball team. They have faced quality opponents in Laurel and Nordonia and Hoban and things of that sort. And they've seen teams, and some of which are better than us, so they've already conquered those feats. Even though they didn't come out on the victorious side, the problem is, not the problem, the answer I'm trying to get to is they've competed in those games with teams that are even better than us. So, they've already proven to themselves that they can do it. So again, regardless of what the court is, it's still a 10-foot hoop and the ball is still round, and we're going to play a great game.
And I think a lot of times, on away games, you're kind of forced to come together as a team. And sometimes you can catch the home team, and this isn't going to happen Thursday, but just talking home court advantage, that sometimes, like you said, that familiarity of being at home, you relax a little bit. And so when you're in games where you're on the road and you're in hostile territory, sometimes that brings you together as a team. And, this year without student sections and bigger stands, it's a shame, because I'm pretty sure that we'd be game of the week on Thursday and probably next Saturday. And we'd have jam gyms for those games. So unfortunately we can't have that. And, it is what it is with COVID, but we'll have to make the most of the opportunity. And I know they're excited and we're excited, and it doesn't matter what court we play on. I think Nick would say that, we'll go play down at the field house, or we'll go wherever. If we get the chance to play each other, we'll do it anywhere.
We've already established the respect you guys have for each other, but I got to wonder this week, has there been any playful banter, any friendly competition jabs given off this week with the rivalry starting to boil over a little bit?
I thought we'd come on this interview and have some, and I thought maybe we'd tell some jokes and get after a little bit, but no, it's boring conversation with Coach and I. Like I said, it's not about basketball, and we just kind of help each other through the day and pick each other's brains on some certain things that aren't necessarily related to what happens on the court. So, I think we'll do that a little bit in the off season, but we know the battle that each other's facing on a daily basis right now. And so, we're just kind of helping each other out.
Yep. Echo that perfectly. I mean, like I said, that's like he said, nothing has changed this week. We have talked to each other just like we would any other week. I mean, there is nothing different. And like when we see each other Thursday night, it's not going to be you stay in your corner, I'll stay in mine, because we have to be focused and we can't talk and all this other stuff that some coaches get into, like it's going to matter for the game. I don't get into that, and he doesn't get into that. We'll still go over, talk, and see how they're doing, talk to the girls. That's it. Just business as usual. And at the end of the night, someone will win, somebody will lose, and we'll still go on texting and talking and rooting for one another as the postseason comes towards. We just want to be on the floor, man. That's it. As long as we're on the floor, we're in a good place.
You know, the NE8 is stacked with talent this year. You know, you got Emma Alaya, of course, and Struthers. We definitely send our thoughts to her. She's injured, but Izzy Lamparty and South Range, Jackie Grisdale and Poland. When you look at this, the league and the talent spread throughout, both your perspective on what it's like and how, you know, you look at other leagues in the area and you don't see the talent spread out as much. What's it kind of like inside the NE8 when you look at almost every team has at least one girl that would be starting on a lot of teams in the league?
Fish, you can take this one first.
Yeah, I think, you know, I've called those three the big three before, you know, Emma, Jackie, and Izzy. And our league's going to look a lot different after those three graduate. They've been special players for years now, and they've been a lot of fun to watch. But they've also set great examples for the girls that are going to come after them. And so they've made the league a better league from what they've done. And the younger girls see that, and the younger girls want to be part of that. And that's going to carry on years down the road. And you know, we're going to remember Jackie, Emma, and Izzy as kind of the three that started that. And I don't know, was Sarah, did Sarah play in the league, coach?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, Sarah Berry is one that kind of started that too for you guys. But it's special when you have this caliber of players that you have to prepare for in the league twice a year. You know, gives coaches heartburn to have to worry about that. But it's also very fun because, like I said earlier, we want to play against the best. And as coaches pointed out, that we don't want to play anybody when they're down. And our heart breaks for Emma. That just, you know, stinks because she works so hard and she's so deserving. And she doesn't get to finish her senior year. And I know that she's got a special career ahead of her at Mountain Union, and she's going to do special things there. But what she set for the girls at Struthers as an example, and Jackie at Poland and Izzy here, that's going to carry through to all the other teams, and this league's going to be fun to watch for years to come.
Yep, and like I said, just to echo what he's saying, the biggest thing is for my kids, you know, speaking personally, watching Jackie's work ethic and having a Sarah Burry to watch after and a Bella Gaddis before her, and their drive and determination and the records they've set and the success they've had. These younger kids can't just sit back and be like, wow, she's so good, and act like they don't understand how it happened. They see her in the gym, on the off days, before practice, after practice, you know, all the extra time. I mean, Jackie herself, she'll do a ball handling routine, and some kids will tell me, yeah, I dribbled in the driveway or in the basement and stuff. Jackie will do a ball handling routine, and some kids will do it for 10 or 15 minutes and think it was good. She'll do one for 45 minutes to an hour. She's drenched in sweat after doing ball handling by herself. You know what I mean? And when kids see those things, it's kind of like, are you really working to get better, or you just think you're working hard to get better? You know, there's a way to get better, and it's more than just getting on the gun and doing stationary shooting in the driveway and all those things. Even ball handling, whatever you got to do it to the best of your abilities. And that's what's great for our younger kids, to see these things, because it's not anything just a coach is telling them to do. They've seen it firsthand and the success that's come with it. All three of those girls have extremely high work ethics. And I'm telling you, like Emma, she'll battle back, no doubt. And like he said, have a great career at Mount Union because of her work ethic. She's got a drive to be great. And I've told you that before in a coach's corner when we were going to play Struthers. She'll bounce back, and she's going to come back better than ever just because she has a drive to be great. So, like I said, we're all in a better place because of those three.
All right, we got this matchup hanging up, and what are going to be both of your keys to victory if you had to pick maybe one or two or maybe even three keys to victory for Thursday as you guys get ready to square it up against each other?
Take care of the basketball. I mean, take care of the little things. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. There is no secret just because it's South Range, you know what I mean? Or any quality opponent. Like, at least I'll speak for myself, you know, our message doesn't change. Like, we still have to play Poland basketball, and that includes taking care of the basketball, doing box outs, executing on both sides of the floor. You know, like when we call something for a trap, for example, you got to get them in the trap. If you don't do your part and they split the traps, or we're reaching and we're getting fouls and putting them on the free throw line to make free throws with the clock stopped, you know, all the things that we preach and go over, you're not going to be successful if you don't execute the game plan. So that's basically our message is regardless, where we're at. Hopefully we get to a district semi and a district championship. And, you have those formidable opponents on the other side, which, we both will. You got to play your brand. And if you do that, you feel as though that's the best chance for your team to be successful, regardless of who's on the other side. So, yes, our message won't change.
Yeah, and Nick said taking care of the ball, and the first thing that came to my mind was turnovers. The turnovers, and and hitting your shots underneath, taking care of the simple things. A lot of times in big games and close games, though, it still comes down to hitting shots and taking care of the ball. You can fancy this up as much as you want. It's still a basketball game between two really good teams, and whoever executes the simple stuff is probably going to put themselves in a pretty good position late in the game to get the win. And like Nick said, if you don't execute your stuff, then you're going to be in trouble. We want to go play the way we play. They want to play the way that they play, and that'll be important. And we talked earlier about it being a chess match, and I think it's going to be that, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And most importantly, it's going to get us ready for tournament. I mean, these are going to be two great games if we're able to play them, and both teams are going to benefit regardless of who wins, who loses. This is going to be district championship material, no doubt in my mind.
Nick, Coach Fish has been liable to break out some fashion statements in big games. What do you think of the suits that Coach Fishel brings out and the style that he kind of sometimes brings to the sideline?
Well, what I respect about that is he's his own being, and he really doesn't care what anybody else thinks. The world looks good in burgundy and gold to him, and that's what he's going to do regardless of what it looks like or what anybody would say or think. And that's one thing I was disappointed about last time. He decided to dress comfy, and he went no suit, and I was kind of taken back by that. I mean, I really wanted to know what suit we were going to see. I was thinking the gold suit coming out because the previous game he did the burgundy, and he didn't do either. He dressed comfy because he wanted to be able to move around. So you could tell it was a big game. He dodged the whole suit thing. But like I said, it is what it is. He's his own unique character with that stuff, and then that's what makes him go. And I think the girls like that stuff because it's, again, not every other coach. I wear cage jackets. I mean, that's what every coach wears, cage jackets or a shirt and tie. You don't get very many that do the burgundy and gold suits, so you got to appreciate the uniqueness there.
Well, Coach Fish, do you have plans on Thursday? Have you mapped out what your outfit's going to be, or are you still kind of mulling it over?
That's a bigger secret than our game plan. I will not let anybody know. No, like Coach said, I've kind of, I've talked about it, that he's not the only one that said, hey, I'm a little disappointed that you're not in a suit. And, last year I probably wore it for bigger games in my mind. I don't remember exactly. But now if I don't show up in a suit, the team takes as an insult that we're not considering it a big game, and they're using that as a rally cry in their locker room. So I've kind of tried to keep it more random. I don't know how hot their gym's going to be Thursday night, but I'm going to tell you this, it'll be a comfy night because that'll be an exciting game, and I'm sure I'm going to be getting my steps in on the bench, walking up and down.
That's the way we like it.
Nick, what about it? You going to turn the heat up a little bit?
Hopefully the court. Hey man, I'm a fat guy. I don't want the gym to be that hot, man. I'll be sweating. I'll have the pit stains and everything. Nobody wants all that. So we just need to turn the heat up on the court, man, not in the gym. Nobody likes that.
What is the overall message that both of you are giving to your team before we let you guys go? As you head into tournaments, you guys are in the last leg of the season. You've gone through it. Both of your teams have gone through it. A lot of tough games, war of attrition. As you go through the last leg of your season, what's kind of the message to your team?
Have fun. That's what we talk about a lot. And whatever you're going to give it for your seniors, because whenever this ends, however this ends, they're the only ones that never get to come back. And so enjoy the time with them and make the most of it. And when it's all said and done, however it ends, have no regrets. Like, those are the same things we preach, to make sure that these kids understand we get it. It's a crazy year, but let's still have great memories to look back on, regardless how it all goes down the stretch. And if we win some down the stretch with it, so be it. It's added memories and more time together.
Yeah, that's spot on. And you know, I gotta give credit to our juniors because you know I didn't like the way we started practice tonight, and it was our juniors that stepped up and made sure we fixed that, and they did that to honor the seniors. You know, a lot of gyms would have the seniors doing that, but our juniors have so much respect for our seniors that they stepped up and did that. And our message is the same: have fun. And I think we all understand that you know we're a COVID case away from this being over. And you know we've learned this year that we're an injury away from you know for one person this being over. And we've talked all season long about the process, and we mapped it out at the beginning of the year that whether we lose in the sectional semifinal or if we lose in the state semifinal, we're only talking about 3 weeks of difference. So are we not going to enjoy the process for 3.5 months just because 3 weeks of difference at the end of the year? And so we want to make sure that we're having fun and enjoying the moment every day because it could be our last day in the gym together. And I know that's the same message the coach has been giving his team.
All right, guys. I get to call the game on Thursday. I know both of you have badgered me about, you know, partiality or who I'm rooting for or whatever. I'm just wondering who's going to bring the most brownie points on Thursday.
For South Range, we already know 2/3 of this is rooting for South Range. We know that. You'll have the underwear on.
How about this one? I'm a big Chiefs fan on Sunday, Anthony. Let's go Chiefs.
You're not stopping Tom Brady, brother.
Well, there
I
you
love
go.
it. Everybody asked me who I'm rooting for, and I said for my numbers in the block pool to hit. That's all I care about.
That's right.
Put some money in his pocket.
Anthony, you're speechless, buddy.
I'm
Come
speechless, buddy. No, I thought you would say something to warm me up, not knock me down a couple pegs, Coach.
Hey, right now, everybody's the enemy, man. We got to just go at everybody. We're taking everybody down. I know you'll be wearing your South Range gear. I got it.
No. I'll be very partial, and we'll have some fun on Thursday.
Yeah, we always do, buddy.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this week, Coach Fish. Thanks for rating this Coach's Corner and breaking in. Coach Blanch, thanks for giving us your time, and we'll talk to you again for episode 6 next week.
Hey, thanks for letting us do this, Anthony. This was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. We got to do it again. Thanks, guys. Coach, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, see you guys.